What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing excellent and taking care of yourselves. How's it been? It's been a little while. I've been, like you, very busy, right? Everybody's busy. So I wanted to talk to you today about this amazing story that came out of Egypt about these pyramid secrets that have been going on. So apparently there's an underground city beneath Egypt's pyramids that basically deepens the entire mystery. The scientists shared new details about what might lie behind or underneath 4,000 feet. 4,000 feet is pretty deep. I mean, it's almost a mile, right? And miles for what? 5,280 feet. So you might have heard about this a little bit, but I'm going to talk about it in this podcast a little bit more in detail, and we'll see what makes sense. So what immediately struck out or stood out to me was that I was kind of surprised that they even let this information out. I mean, the government doesn't have to let anything out, but they did. They could have blocked this. They could have. I mean, FBI has been doing that for years and years and years, but they didn't block it. It's almost like they wanted us to know about it. So there was a team of researchers, a team of Italian researchers, that claimed they uncovered giant vertical shafts wrapped in spiral staircases and a massive limestone platform containing two enormous chambers with descending channels resembling pipelines. And of course, you've probably seen the pictures. If not, I'll put a picture as the thumbnail for this podcast. But these vertical shafts wrapped with spiral staircases really looks reminiscent to me of the library that they found in Stargate SG-1? Or no, SGU. SGU, I believe it was. They went to a planet and they found like this huge system underneath ground, and it had an elevator, and they could go down, and they found basically humans' history of humans living on this other planet. And they had an entire, like, thousands, millennia, I don't know how long. I mean, it was a written story, so it was fiction, theoretically. But, you know, they're feeding us Hollywood information, right from the source of, you know, the government. Anyway, so the point is that it resembled what they showed in SGU very, very similar, that they had these huge structures that had enormous spiral staircases around them, and then they had an entire living arrangement and scenario and building and compartments throughout this entire facility basically. So let's talk about what they say they found, and we can talk a little bit more about how it resembles what we've seen in shows. So during the news conference on Saturday, the researchers said a water system had been identified beneath the platform located 2,100 feet below Khafre Pyramid, with underground pathways leading even deeper into the earth. This is wild, man. This is like really, really cool. So we have a team that used radar pulses to create high-resolution images deep into the ground beneath the structures, the same way that sonar radar is used to, they find things in the ocean all the time with sonar radar. So these huge claims, they are huge. Some people don't believe them. Some experts say that, oh no, that's exaggerated and da 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 da. But this is how they start, right? This is how the information starts. Now, this is what's also interesting is that there's always been a noted but possibly fabled hall of records underneath the Sphinx, the Great Pyramid, right, and the other pyramids in Giza. How do we acquire that information? There was a man by the name of Edgar Cayce who talked about how he was a psychic and a channeler, and he could predict the future. He could go back in time to his past lives. But he basically was able to predict with tremendous accuracy what was going to happen in the future as well. And he said that there was a hall of records underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. And everybody's like, okay, whatever. It sounds cool in theory. It sounds like a good story. It sounds like it'd be a fun thing to write about. But there was no definitive information, nobody dug up underneath there to find it. Nobody had the technology to until today. And now we have Italy's University of Pisa basically telling us that that whole scenario is true. So there's 8 vertically aligned cylindrical structures. Well, it could possibly be true, right? We haven't gotten into the library yet, so I don't want you guys to be like, oh, you said it's true. Well, it's possibly true, right? So we have 8 vertically aligned cylindrical structures arranged in 2 parallel rows from north to south. They descend more than 2,100 feet. They appear to be vertical shafts directly underneath the pyramid. This is it. This is right outside of Cairo, right? And the professor states that, and this is a radar expert, states that it's not, he believes it's not possible for the technology to penetrate that deeply into the ground, making the idea of an underground city a huge exaggeration. However, he suggests it's conceivable that small structures such as shafts and chambers might exist beneath the pyramids, having been there before the pyramids were even built, because the site was a special site to the ancient people. However, the people that uncovered this state that they know what they're looking at, and they're telling us that these are definitely rods. They're, well, not rods, they're huge cylindrical, edifices, creations that may be holding up the pyramid. They may be powering the pyramid. There's a lot of theories on this, right? Are these power structures going into towards the core of the Earth to generate more electrons to come out? Is this something else entirely, right? Is this something that we could create a different source of energy with, like an alien source of energy? I mean, many people believe that this is definitive proof that the pyramids were made by non-human intelligences. They don't believe that ancient Egyptians had the capability to not only create the pyramids, but also create these humongous vertical shafts that would go down deep in the earth. So my theory is a couple things, right? It could be that these shafts are energy centers. It could be that these shafts are they could be leading a leading tunnel portal into the basement, so that people can go down there and gather the info. There, I'll close that. It's raining outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm actually in my secondary hub for recording, since we've got people at the house, so I'm trying to record in quiet. But anyway, so I think that, it could be tunnels leading below the pyramids, allowing us to, basically have these folks an easy access portal. The other thing is that these things could be something that we don't even understand, that we totally don't understand at all. So, I mean, it could be something totally, wild. Something totally wild, and I'm interested. The way that they're wrapped really is interesting, because it kind of reminds me of like a Tesla coil. The way that they wrap Tesla coils, and they kind of have, these coils wrapped. And the reason they're wrapped is because you have tremendous amount of power when you wrap a coil around a rod, and they shoot up electrons, and it becomes more powerful, like a magnet, like an electric magnet. So let's go back to the article here. Below the shafts, the team identified 2 massive rectangular enclosures, each measuring approximately 260 feet per side. According to the researchers, each of the enclosures contain 4 shafts that extend from the top and descend downward. During the briefing, the team showed an image created by pulses that captured the Khafre pyramid on the surface along with shafts. The image also included a complex luminous structure with distinct vibrations, which they believe is an actual underground city. These guys know what they're looking for. This is their profession. So it doesn't make sense for us to question them. I mean, you can question things, right? Obviously, but this is their job. It's not, how many people have expertise with LiDAR and radar? Not me. So they believe that the vibrations coming from this section of underground is an actual underground city. The existence of vast chambers beneath the Earth's surface, comparable in size to the pyramids themselves, have a remarkably strong correlation between the legendary halls of Amenti, which is something I'm not even aware of. But in 2002, October 2002, there was a peer-reviewed paper in the Scientific Journal of Remote Sensing, which found 4 hidden rooms and ramps inside Khafre, along with evidence of a thermal anomaly near the pyramid's base. The team scanned this area, and it showed a vast city hiding beneath the surface of the pyramid. Now, this is what's so cool, is that, there's images online of the pyramids being at the top and these, humongous cylindrical sections being underneath and leading to a base. Now, there's so many crazy stories about UFOs coming out of the ocean, right? And if they're coming out of the ocean, chances are there's probably a base down there. And if there's a base down there, then they had to figure out a way to create a base underwater utilizing some sort of force field so they could create the base. So why couldn't they have done that underneath the pyramids of Giza? It would make sense to build a bunker underneath these pyramids. These pyramids could have been anything from energy sources to landmarks to just a place for them to stash their freaking UFOs. UFO hangar. And then below the base, those huge cylinders, they could be just places where they could hide more UFOs, more ships, and then bring those ships down to a huge underground city where they wouldn't have to be attacked by, Cro-Magnon man or saber-toothed tigers or woolly mammoths or have to worry about their health. They could be safe and secure underneath the land, deep under the land, which is what any smart civilization would do. They would bury themselves in the land, underneath the land, because it's the safest place. You already have a built-in shelter, with the surface anyway. So I think that this is either a vestige of time gone by, or who knows, man, maybe there's still aliens down there. We don't know. All we have is this series of radar detections. Let's go back to the article. So during the press briefing, the team explained that they sent radar signals from 2 satellites positioned 420 miles above the Earth into the Khafre Pyramid, allowing them to analyze how the signals bounce back. The signals were then converted into sound waves, enabling them to see through the solid stone. This method helped map the underground structures in 3 dimensions. The readings were completely consistent, ruling out any chance of misinterpretation due to sound reflections, according to a Dr. Malanga, or a researcher Malanga. Since each satellite observes from a different angle, their results must align for us to consider the data to be reliable. If something appears in one satellite scan but not another, we know it's a false signal or a false artifact. So this is really fascinating to me. I mean, this article is on the dailymail.uk, and there's articles everywhere. I think that this story is going to continue to gain traction. It's going to continue to bring us a lot of good info. I don't know, how long it's going to take, but if they're already able to do this, and we have AI, and AI can assist with this, then the sky's the limit. The AI will be able to interpret massive amount of data. Quantum computers are going to be able to quantify more data as they're able to acquire it. So it's just a matter of acquisition at this point, and not so much interpretation of the data, just acquisition of the data. How fast and how much of it can we gain? So, what do you think about these pyramids? I'd like to hear what you have to say in the comments section. I mean, They could be anything from, could they be man-made? Maybe. But could we, why do they have all these cylindrical structures underneath them? Why is there a whole city buried under there? 4,000 years ago is past that far that now there's nothing but sand in the desert, and there was a whole city almost a mile underneath. So a mile of sand in the past 4,000 years has come into that area and flooded it with sand. I don't know, man. The whole scenario sounds stranger and stranger and less likely to be human to me. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section what you think. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. Stay healthy. Stay positive. Think good thoughts. Keep that white light around you. Meditate. Pray for everyone around you. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Until next time, guys, take care. Lockdown Universe out. Peace.